Another standout moment from the debate last night was Donald Trump being asked about race, a topic that he's had some issues with in the past. Perhaps we'll go over a little bit of that. Here is his assurance, though, that should not be a concern for you about him at all.
The first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. I said, that's a horrible thing. And they were marching down the street. And that was my first glimpse of Black Lives Matter. I thought it was a terrible thing. As far as my relationships with all people, I think I have great relationships with all people. I am the least racist person in this room.
Okay, I hate that cut off. He was saying I'm the least racist person in this room. I don't know for sure, the room's too dark, but I think I'm the least racist person. He's literally talking to a I believe black and Native American debate moderator, and he's saying that he's the least racist person, the person who pushed for decades for the exonerated 5 to get the death penalty. The guy, I mean, look through his Twitter history. Obviously, the problems with the investigations of differential rates of rent and things like that. I mean, come on, there's no room he goes into where he's the least racist person, honestly. Well, we know the sorts of people he hires, maybe.
That's the truth. But it's like, well, if you pack the room right, John, he might be the least racist person in that room. Yeah, he is. His policies are racist. He is attacking. He's attacking any attempt to teach about like the legacy of slavery in America. That's racist. His housing policies when he was a real estate developer, racist, explicitly racist. I just don't know any. I mean, my big fear right now is that I hope that everyone understands and knows, every decent human being understands and knows what kind of a person they're dealing with now. And those feelings I had as he was trying really hard to push his same old tired narratives that worked in 2016 with a handful of people. Hopefully those same people are looking at it and being like, oh my God, I was had. The same way that everyone that has lived in Hollywood and worked in Hollywood like knows this kind of guy. Like Seth MacFarlane said it right when it was happening. He's like, I have dealt with people like this who talk themselves out nonstop, and there's no there there. They're just a huckster and a BS artist that have gone through their entire life snowing people, and eventually, like in New York, everyone caught on to it. He's done in New York, which he referred to during the debate as like my beautiful New York, my beautiful New. No, the Trump era New York was something like everyone on every side of the New York crime and fixing it debate that has anything to do with Trump's approach to it knows what a disaster it has been and is made into. And it's just very frustrating.
It is, and in terms of like that, the guy where there's no there, like he makes it, I would assume, even easier to know that than most hucksters, because he has this thing, and I have already referenced one where he just says the same thing in the exact same way. So when you ask him about BLM, you don't need to wonder what he's gonna say. You know exactly what he's gonna say. The first time I ever heard BLM, it was pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon, and it was horrible. He said that over and over and over and over again in interviews and rallies and all of that. He says the exact same thing. It's a script. That is why, by the way, no one has any excuse for not destroying him in a debate, because you literally know what every one of his answers is going to be. And the obvious fault to that is, what does that have to do with the movement Black Lives Matter, which incorporates literally millions of people over years across the entirety of the country? You have one chant from like 3.5 years ago that you had a problem with, okay? Do you think every group that you support should be judged by one particular chant at one location in one state chapter literally years ago? No, obviously you don't. So talk to me instead about what they're pushing for, rather than just telling us about this chant over and over and over again. And we know if you ask him about why, for instance, a lot of Black Americans aren't supporting the election, you know exactly what he's gonna say. I've done more for Black Americans than any president in history, with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln, because he said it over and over and over and over again. He's not a thinking human being. He's not inhabiting the now and responding to your concerns. He's just like Kayleigh McEnany's got the binder, but he's doing the script just as much, as if he was flipping through and then finding the line he's supposed to say based on the label. BLM, oh, fry him like bacon. Why don't Black Americans support me? More than anybody, except perhaps Lincoln. That's all it is. It's so pointless, and that's why I just don't think that he's going to be able to win over new voters. He hasn't had a new thing in years at this point.
So those lines are tested within an inch of their life. Previously, they had been tested in like, Frank Luntz would sit there and be like, all right, here are the 5 things we were thinking of saying to undecided voters. What do you like the best? And then it gets tested and then everyone repeats them. That was when you paid someone to do it. Trump, as I said in 2015, 2016, he is a truffle pig that just sniffs out these kinds of things that work from a marketing perspective. And he also has no shame. So he has no shame about blowing right through the obvious, anything that would mortify anyone else to say these kinds of words. You wouldn't be able to get through it with a straight face. But he also has no shame. He doesn't have, his radar doesn't pick that up. So he just goes right through it because he always has. And so he is that focus group. And if it works on him to convince him that his ideas are right, then he thinks it'll work on other people. And it has. Like, a lot of people only have enough attention span to lend to politics so that they can go until they find something that makes them feel good about how they already think about something. And there's tons of valid reasons to support Black Lives Matter, whether you're talking about the organization or just what those words mean when said in a row. But a lot of folks who are benefiting from the system as is are like, God, please give me anything to not have to worry about this stuff. And that's what Trump gives them. And it's worked for so far. And so now they don't have to engage and now they can move on with their lives. But I agree. I think by now, most people, like, there was a focus group from CNN last night of undecided voters, and literally not one of them thought that Trump won. Oh.
We've got it. We're gonna talk about the results. Don't even worry. Really fast, I want to give you credit. While I know your favorite theory of your own is the justice butthole, I think your truffle pig theory is better because it does explain a lot of politicians. It unfortunately, I think, explains a lot of people in media as well. Their talent is in sniffing out a thing that people will think is tasty, and then just serving that up over and over again. And Trump definitely does that. I disagree about how good his nose is. Because I like, obviously it gets you through a Republican primary, but hypothetically that truffle should be able to win you a national election. I don't think he's necessarily found it.
I mean,
but anyway,
let's go on to another election with it.
I understand that.
That's how he beat the entire Republican.
No, I don't doubt he found the exact right truffle for the Republican primary. And then I think he was given a big assist by Hillary Clinton. I think that Joe Biden is effectively just a blank candidate that doesn't provide that advantage to him, and he's coming up short. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.